So this is part 6 of the Lunch and Learn series. Today we're talking about AI voice. This is an informal lunch and learn. There's nothing to buy here. There's nothing to upgrade to. This is just pure learning and what we have available today. Some of our existing clients are here and some are new people that were just kind of met. And so feel free to come on camera if you have a question, or off mic when you're if you do have anything to offer. So this is the first part of the session, and I am going to talk a little bit about AI voice, what it is. This is being recorded for our Lunch and Learn series. It's in our community. It'll be available as a replay there. The replay is really designed to help educate our clients that are part of our community. So we've got a couple more people, one more person coming in here. Welcome to the Lunch and Learn. If you're just coming in now, we're just getting started. Haven't missed anything yet. So we don't do slideshows here. This is just educational, hands-on, real people talking about their businesses and questions and everything else. So I'll talk a little bit about what AI voice is and the season of AI that we are now talking to our clients about. The platform that we have here is chock full of a lot of features, and the AI voice is something new. So the way this works is we set up your AI. We don't use a generic form of AI, which is sort of the first generation. ChatGPT was the beginning of AI. And the problem with those responses was AI was not trained. So now we have the tools to train the AI for all of your content and everything that you want to have the AI learn about, so that it can be operating 24/7 for any inbound phone calls. So I'm going to make a quick phone call. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear me while I'm doing this. I'm going to stop the share on this screen right now because we're not sharing anything. So I'm going to call the number on our funnel page, which is 360-995-1901. I'm going to call it first, kind of demonstrate. Hopefully you guys can all hear, and then I'll have you guys call if you like, and then I can show you how we can monitor and respond to those incoming calls. So on the .do process, here we go. We're going to start right now. And hopefully this will work. If you can't, can anybody in the chat, can you tell that you can hear me?
We can hear you, not the AI, though.
You can hear it ringing? I want to make sure you can hear that.
No, we can't hear it ringing.
You've reached Softwired. How can I help you today?
Oh, we can't now.
Okay, good. Thanks, Norm. All right. Hi, Softwired. I'd like to learn a little bit more about your business.
Sure thing, Sapphire. At Softwired, we focus on providing top-notch customer support and solutions tailored to our clients' needs. You can find more details on our website at softwiredweb.com. Is there anything specific you'd like to know?
Do you guys do funnels or any kind of sales management?
I'm not entirely sure about that, but a team member will reach out to you with more information. Could you let me know if there's anything else you'd like to ask, or share your contact details so we can follow up?
Sure. My name's Tony.
Great, Tony. Just to make sure I've got it right, your name is Tony. Is that correct?
Correct.
Awesome. What issue are you facing today, or is there anything else you'd like to know?
Just have somebody call me back.
Got it, Tony. I'll make sure a team member reaches out to you soon. Thanks for reaching out, and have a great day.
You too. All right, that was just a quick demo. One of the things that we need to do when we're doing the AI voice or any kind of AI is we have to train the AI. Some of you guys are pretty hefty power users like Norm here. I know you guys have done a lot with AI. So if you want to come on camera, if anybody wants to be a volunteer, then I'll share my screen and I'll show you how we respond to those internally. Do I have a volunteer? How about you, Norm? You willing to come on camera? Do you have a camera?
I'm sure. I'm just in my truck.
Oh, you're driving. Okay, probably not a good test. Kyle, how about you? Oh, I think Kyle can't hear. There's a technical issue. Alex, are you able to hear me? Are you able to make a phone call? Everybody's muted, so you have to unmute first.
I can hear you now. Sorry, I don't know. For some reason, I'm actually on the road today too. Normally I'm in the office, but I'm on the road. It must have been my Bluetooth was acting up or something.
Okay, Kyle. So I wanted to just share what my screen looks like. So you could see that there was an inbound call. This was the right one. The recent call, or is that my test? I want to make sure. So I was just looking to see if anybody else wanted to volunteer to call the number, so that I can show you how we can respond to that as a real live person once the AI is finished with the call. So the number calling, feel free to call, is 360-81 or 995-1905, and I'll watch for any that come in. And if anybody has any other questions, feel free to ask them in chat. And or anything else you need in the meantime. I'm trying to present and answer chats and all the rest of this at the same time. So anybody trying to call the number? You can say it in chat. Daniel, I'll go ahead and put it in chat here. 360-995-1905. There we go. Now, one of the things too I wanted to say is it is in a beta sort of a rollout where the biggest thing that we have to do is train the AI, and that's a process. So it's a process of the initial prompt that we're going to give it. We're going to tell it how to, look through all of your information and your content and everything else. And then as time goes by, you make improvements. So out of the box, it might not do all the everything perfectly well, but it looks like someone's calling the number, and the number gets forwarded to my company phone. And so now whoever did call the number is now talking to the AI. So I should be able to see that in our conversations. Now there's a lot of companies out there that are doing the AI. So this is just how ours is. And some of you guys are already clients, a lot of you guys already are. And so I want to make sure that you had that experience and you knew what to expect. If anybody's calling on the phone number that is on the screen, I'll put it back up. If you haven't called, then please feel free, 360-995-1905. The other thing too is the AI can handle as many calls as it wants. There's no timeouts, no busy signals or anything like that. So think in terms of the benefits of having the AI voice set up, just so that you can have those calls answered, even if you're having an answering service or even a real live person. The AI fits into the CRM, so you can see all the conversations and everything that's going on. So anybody have any questions? Anybody else calling in at this time? Trying to see if there's any new conversations coming in. I should be able to see any text messages or any kind of, looks like they're in here. And if you give your first name, it should set you up as contact. And then that what it does in essence is it becomes a lead that you can follow up with, and that you have the phone number to be able to respond to that person immediately through the mobile app or through the web app, and have that initial conversation, just to not lose that potential lead from a potential contact. Anybody have any questions about that? That's mostly the presentation. Any feedback on your conversations with our AI, the two that have called so far? Again, we're still processing these new technologies. Want to make sure that the AI did respond to you. This is a good way for us to get some feedback. Anybody want to come off mic? Anybody have any feedback, any questions? Maybe a couple of you are still talking to the AI, hopefully getting good answers.
Hey, Tony, it's Kyle. Seemed to be fairly conversational and not robotic, which was nice.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, that's a big factor, because people don't like those, voicemail type of robots, right? So anybody else make a call? I saw 2 numbers in here. Anybody else? I saw Kyle. It showed up in the system as you, Kyle. I saw your conversation in here, and then somebody else called. So that's it in a nutshell. If anybody wants to come on off on a camera, or come off mic and just let us know if we have any other questions. We keep these really short because we want to be able to have lunch. And if anybody else is interested in learning more, this group has been mostly with clients as opposed to new potential customers. And so there's a different format for you guys. If you have any direct questions as a customer, please reach out to me directly. I am happy to give you guys more information and support as we have rolled out many of these AI tools. All right. So anybody else?
Yeah, Tony, this is Norm. No, it looked really good.
Okay.
So I got a quick question. Does it, so in your CRM, does it link up to your business profile and everything that we've built in the back end?
So it's all off of the phone number that's connected to your account.
Okay.
So once that phone number's, it's basically the Twilio number that gets forwarded to your business number. So if the way the AI does is we just set up as an AI agent that can answer the phone, and it just needs to be trained.
Okay.
Reach out. Let's set up a time, Norm. You're already a client. Let's just make sure you have access or know how to set that up.
Yeah, no, it looks really good.
Awesome.
I like the voice. It responds very well.
Yeah, you have a couple different choices on voices for our software. Basically you can pick with different types of people and attitudes. So think in terms of by how you want to train that. There's different goals, different types of AI voice agents. So we're really just getting started, and this is just the basics, functions, and how we're doing it.
No, this
Tony,
is a great tool.
Hey, Daniel.
Sorry.
We haven't met yet officially.
Yes. Yes. Have a quick question. How long do you think it typically takes to train it so that it's effective? Because it sounds cool.
Yeah. So this morning I was testing it, and it was not doing a couple things I liked. For one thing, had it set to capture emails, which a couple of my test subjects, like my wife, kind of got into a convoluted conversation, so we stopped that. But there was one thing that the AI was not doing this morning, so I literally just told it to go to my website and just reuse that as a resource, and after that it just started answering correctly.
Cool.
So fairly, very quick, very immediate, And AI is very fast to learn, right? It takes just a few seconds to really just tell it where to go learn. That's how we set up AI for all our client accounts, is we help train the AI with all the resources that you have on your website and everything else, so it knows your business inside and out. All right.
And honestly, given the quality of most people that are answering phones these days, I don't know that it's the biggest hurdle anyway. So especially if you spend the time training it adequately. I mean, what I heard here sounds pretty darn good. So
Awesome. Well, I think
Yeah.
you and I have we're just gonna try to schedule a one-on-one, so I'll try to work on that with you and we'll get that figured out.
Yep, you got it.
All
And
right.
Tony, quick question, does it speak other languages?
It does. That's something I haven't looked into, but I've heard it does. I don't know what languages, but let's go ahead and either submit a support ticket or send me an email, just with your questions, Norm, and I'll make sure that I get back to you on what those are.
Okay, and then we can also link that to our scheduler, correct?
Correct. Yes. I haven't done that yet personally here, but there is a way to configure the AI. I know that we can do it with text. And if any of you have seen the earlier Lunch and Learns, I demonstrated how the chat widget and how the AI texts, and now the voice is another level. And it's my understanding that that its intents are and I'm looking at the tool right now, and it does look like you can set it up to trigger a workflow or book a meeting. That would be an interesting demo to do next time, so I'm making a note of that.
And then really quick too, how is this charged? Is it charged by word, kind of like what we do with AI?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
we you know, there's just a couple levels to pricing, and if you're not on the AI level, then that just gives you the where we can give you the prompts. If you just want to pay the usage charges, then those are just by like how many different tokens, and I think you're familiar with that, Norm.
Correct.
Yeah, the
So
difference is
and probably about the same cost.
yeah, I think that you mean as far as your usage charges?
Yes.
Yeah, they're very low. I think, I can get you numbers on that. That's something I was updating on the terms of service right now, just to give people more details on the usage charges. But I think, I haven't seen anybody over we give credits at different levels. I think at the scale level, you get $50 a month rolled over, or some of the other ones we have. But yeah, that's just how it's billed. It's very lean. Any other questions? Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I think we can wrap it and we can go get lunch. There will be other webinars coming up in more presentation fashion. I did mention in the last email going out that we were going to do some offers. We're gonna, those are geared toward new customers. We're working on that, not quite ready for that. But in the next few days, if you do have any referrals or anybody that's interested, it'd be a good time to have them come and talk to us. We're having some end of the year specials for new people, and just to help get some people on board and start moving in the right direction. So anything else from you guys? All right, thanks, Daniel. Thanks for coming. This has been a great experience for me to share some of this knowledge and experience that we've had with some amazing technology and all the new technology with AI coming out. So with that being said, have a great rest of your day. Feel free to reach out directly to me, either phone call or phone number, and I look forward to hearing back from you all. So
Thanks, Tony.
Yep. I'm here, Norm.
Thank you, and I appreciate your commitment to bring these products to us. It's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's a good point, and I appreciate you pointing that out, Norm. Is here at Softwired, we're all about technology and really trying to push things forward and leverage as much as you can, and we can all benefit from that. All right. Anybody else? Okay, thanks for everybody. We'll talk to you later. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.